Why is this way? I did not set this up to be this way. What are we doing here? Oh, I know why everything's all kind of weird. Let's do this real quick. How's it, everybody? Give me just a hot second. All right, there we go. I didn't mean to have that on the Talofa Faithful. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Niner Faithful Radio Week in Review Show, where usually we have something to talk about because, we're reviewing the Niners from the, how they played. Was there anything going on during the week? Well, not much has honestly happened this week. So we're just going to give a little bit of a kind of like a short recap of how the team looks right now in its present state and stuff that's possibly coming up. I'm not sure where the co-host is, honestly, right now. So we'll see what happens with him. So as usual, we are drinking because it's Friday. Good job, everybody. We made it to the weekend finally. I don't know why my light is on for that. We made it to the weekend finally. It's been a long week, ladies and gentlemen. So this week I've got some Simply Spiked limeade that I've got here. I'm actually really starting to like this stuff. Not a whole lot of alcohol, but it tastes really good. So, all right, everybody, cheers. All right. So we're going to go ahead and hit the actual intro, and then we'll be right back, and we will get this show started.
Line up the Chargers. Taylor out to the left side, and Ricky Waters to the right. And a play fake. Young goes deep middle. He's got Jerry Rice. Touchdown 49ers! First touchdown of the game. Comes after only a minute and 24 seconds. 44 yards. Touchdown pass to Rice. He sets another record.
You are now tuned in to NFR Weekly News Wrap, brought to you by Power Brand Systems.
Again, everybody, welcome to the Week in Review Show. Let's see if I can actually pull this up. We've got, where'd it go? Chat. We've got a Bebop in the house. How's it going, my brother? Thank you for showing up. For those of you people who are watching over on Instagram and want to see your comments live on the air, join the conversation, all that kind of good stuff, make sure to go over and watch it on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. Because for some reason, Instagram won't let you throw your comments up on the screen, so nobody knows what's going on with that. Thank you for that, Bebop. That'd be TJ, but who knows where he... Oh, look who decided to show up.
Yeah, I had to log in, and then it went to the studio, but it wasn't this one. Because, I popped on the screen, it was just me, and I was like, okay, so I went back, and I guess I had to physically... in the studio. I don't know.
Well, welcome.
Cool.
See if we can get this to the right one over. So how's the week for you?
I'll message you. We had some kind of life-changing shit happen. I'll message you off air.
If it's what I think it was, I posted up there. I mean,
I'll talk to you off air. Anyway, so been dealing with that, but ready to rock and roll since this is pretty much our last show till Tuesday. So get a couple.
Yeah, very much going on. I mean, and even with today, there's not much. I mean, there's been literally nothing has gone on all week long. It's like radio silent from there. Which the guys have been on and all that kind of stuff.
Sometimes no news is good news, right?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to get a signing or something by now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't go lie. I don't know. Why did I forget his name? Gregory, like a Randy Gregory type signing.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting us to go make a CMC type trade.
Yeah.
That's just not something I'm expecting us to do. But
What's up, Steve-O?
I do
You like the
expect
font?
us.
This is the Halloween font. I'm still
Ooh.
using.
Hey, fuck it. Yeah, why not? I mean, Halloween was yesterday.
I mean, it's probably not gonna. I think it's just a paid one that they have that you can only use for a little bit, but I like it.
Yeah, that's cool. It's with the day. But yeah, that's what kind of shocked me. No signing, no, um,
Nothing.
nothing. So
Yeah, we'll get to that. We definitely got. I got one on that for that one, Bebop.
yeah, so usually it's so funny because you're usually the one that's like, oh, I'm not drinking tonight and everything like that. But now this week your boy is the one. Although I just smoked a blunt not too long ago, so there's that.
Well, I haven't been drinking as much this year. One, because I'm a little bit more poor compared to my job from last season,
I understand
and
that.
then two, I've had some early morning work on Saturdays, getting some overtime, so I can't really be out there driving after a good
Yeah,
night's drinking.
yeah, I get that.
So,
I definitely get that, bro.
all right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to pull this up again. Bam. Whoa, we're halfway there, kind of, because now
The
you know
season's
now
living on a prayer.
it's not really halfway, and I hate it now. To be honest with
I
you,
do
that
too.
I can't say after 8 games we're halfway. Because next, nope, we're almost halfway. Because if you can see
Technically, we've got more of this season ahead of us
left, yep.
than we do behind us.
That's why if you look in the
In
picture,
theory.
it's slightly askewed. It's not quite centered because we're not quite halfway
Yeah,
there.
it's just like halftime at the Tampa Bay game is technically halfway through
Yeah,
us.
basically, yeah. But
So,
so you got any plans for the bye week?
um, I know we're going recycling tomorrow to go make some cash.
I
Um,
might spend some time with my wife. I forgot that I had one, the last few weeks.
yeah, no, I trust me, I know
Say
how
hi
that
to the
is.
family.
No, like right.
Do some
No,
chores around. Like as you can see, it's getting pretty bad back here with all the shit. I'm just letting pile up. This second tank still ain't up and running yet. I got some shit to do this weekend.
honestly, I think I'm just gonna spend Sunday, and my girl's probably got some things to handle. I know her uncle is flying into town. It'll
Hmm.
make sense when I talk to you off air.
Well, did you
But
see the private chat?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I shouldn't say I talked to
Anyway,
her about it. But, I gave my. But
where is I gotta find that. Anyway,
see, Bebop, you got a
so
nice run incoming marathon. Easy breathing. We got this. Yeah, man. It's a sprint down the rest of this schedule. It's nothing. There's no more gimmies. We've already given up all our gimmies.
yeah. Well, it's what I was thinking. A lot of this. So honestly, long story short, um, I'm probably just gonna spend it like it's a Saturday, bruh. But like
Mm,
enjoy that kind of, just
yeah.
play video games, just do what I would do on a Sunday in the off season. It's kind of like that meme I always share where it's SpongeBob and Patrick, and SpongeBob's like the Niners and everything, and goes, "What do you do when I'm gone?" And it's Patrick, and it says, "Wait for you to get back."
Basically.
It's like kind of like that's what I feel like on Sunday. It's just gonna be like the Niners are like, "Oh, what are you gonna do when we're gone?" Wait for y'all to come back.
I'm I'm probably gonna throw the red zone up on like every TV in my
Oh
house
no, I'm
and
shutting football
just
down,
start
bro.
cleaning shit, and just start, like I said, I'll probably try and get this room finished set up. Like I
Yeah,
said, I should probably spend some time with the wife, but ignoring her before we kick the Packers ass here in a few more weeks, all that kind of stuff. So there's stuff to do. I've seen a lot of people like, oh, I'm gonna go because basketball, obviously the NBA just started. Everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna go watch the NBA, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna watch the NBA.
no,
Maybe I'll find a
I'm
cracking game.
unless my girl has some stuff for me to do,
Yeah,
or wants me to do or whatever like that, I'm gonna treat it like it's any other day. I have nothing to do. Um, but yeah, you know, I was thinking the schedule, and I was thinking to myself, like, okay, like I go back to my post, which I still feel that way. I go back to my post that says, this team's got 10-7, 9-8 written all over it.
Mhm.
And so you figure that's 6-3. That's 6-3 over the last 9. Gets you
Yeah.
to 10-7. So you figure you're gonna let's just put a loss in for Buffalo. Right? Okay. You add maybe Detroit, Green Bay.
I would say the Bills. That way, it's not a conference
But
game.
just to get into the 3 losses. Because Tampa, I can't say with 1,000% confidence that we should beat Tampa, but we should beat Tampa.
Well, with their injuries and wide receivers, we should be. They've had some
I'm gonna look
bad
into
luck
that.
with injuries. So
I haven't cracked into Tampa Bay or anything or their situation or whatever, but
yeah, they're not having a good time with their wide receivers either right now.
So that's a team that they're 5-2 or whatever now.
I'm not sure what their record is.
I know that they were winning at one point. They were like something in 2.
Yeah, I think they might be leading the NFC East. I'm not sure.
Hold on, NFL standings. I'll look it up right now. I should have fucking brought that up. Of course,
The Bucs are 4-4.
4-4. Okay, wow. So they've been dropping it. But okay, so we should beat Tampa, right? Shecock's at home. Like if this team wants to go where you're gonna, nice Bebop. If you're hoping where you want to go, and what I said, and I still think this team wins the division, you've got to win all your division games.
Yeah, again, like we've said a million times, we're out of freebies.
Yeah, we're out of freebies.
We're done with them.
So, after then you got the Green Bay and Buffalo, right? Fine, we lose in Green Bay.
Papa J in the house, how's it, my brother?
But because if basically the point I'm trying to get to is if we're scheduling this team to be 10-7, that means we got to schedule 3 losses. Buffalo, right?
Yeah, you definitely want to give it to Buffalo just if you have to, just because obviously non-conference.
And then
you can't lose in the division, so
that puts you. So that's 3. That's half your wins right there.
4 or 3.
3. That's half your wins right there. So now you're at 7. You're at 7-4.
Yeah.
You got 3 more wins and 3 more losses.
Yeah.
So this team's going 500 over the last 6.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. They've dug themselves a hole that's not the greatest thing in the world.
Is realistically, can you honestly remove the Niner hat, and the faith and believe we could win every game? Do you honestly think this team the rest of the season is only going to lose 1 more game? Come on.
Realistically, no. I mean, even if we went on an amazing 4, 5, 6, like where everybody's expecting that big run, even then, at some point, so we lose 1 more game. We have to get. The only game we could lose would have to be that Week 17 game. That would be the only one.
Yeah.
Because we've sewn up the division at that point. You know what I mean?
Or something like that.
Yeah, that would be if that's what people.
Which are thinking, honestly, I don't see how a point, because it's a division game. The last game of the year is the division game. It's against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So at that point, we've played 5 division games. At best, we're 3-2. I don't see how we wrap up the division being 3-2 and only 3-2 in the division. I think we're gonna have to be 4-2.
The other guys collapse. I mean, that's
okay.
Not the only thing you can think. You know what I mean? Like outside of the interdivisional games, everybody just blows it completely. You know what I mean?
Okay, fair enough. But then, because the way I'm looking at it, and I know it's gonna hurt because I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna have to deal with the repercussions of it. Is honestly, if you told me, TJ, this team's going to be 10-7, it'd be Detroit and Green Bay.
Yeah.
Maybe if you
got media
substitute.
in the house. What's up, Angel?
What's up, Angel? Maybe if you substitute beating Detroit, but you lose to Chicago.
Play Jacob Cowan.
Hashtag play Jacob Cowan. I mean, at this point, it is what it is. He's not going to play a rookie.
Seattle wins 8. Yeah, I think that's what most people had at Seattle at.
Okay,
Don't
so
let Geno Smith's being third in the NFL in passing yards fool you. They're not good.
So I mean, that's. I just it feels weird because like you said, Jason, our gimmies are up.
Facts be up.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't. So
Let's just get into this.
Yeah, let's get into it, bro.
All right, so let's jump into one of these real quick. We're gonna run one of our ads real quick, and then we'll be right back.
By SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code NinerFaithful at SeatGiant.com to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out this show.
Excuse me. So for transactions so far this week, not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing.
I was kind of hoping we'd see something. Now, obviously, come our Tuesday show, maybe we've got something with.
That's when I'm expecting it.
Let's see. Okay, yeah. So next week on the 5th, when the next time we do a show here at NinerFaithful Radio, that will be the end of, or that'll be the trade deadline. Hopefully, yeah. By the time we get on, it's done. We should.
Yeah.
We're either going to have something or we're not. Hopefully,
yeah,
we have some
it's going to be over about a half an hour before we get on air. So,
but I kind of thought maybe we might have get some things because you're starting to see some teams make some moves already. And why the hell are the people trading to the Chiefs? Fucking stop trading to the fucking Chiefs, people.
I don't understand that. My thing is this: is that I say all the time on the show, Jason. Fuck what we say. Fuck what Kyle and John say. Look at what they show you, right? We said the same thing with Brock, right? Like, fuck what anybody says. Look at what Kyle's telling you, right? Like he clearly thinks of Brock as a different quarterback than Jimmy, than Trey, than whoever you could.
100%.
Okay, if we don't make a trade, what does that tell you? Fuck what they're saying. What is that showing you, Jason? If we are,
they have a lot more faith than we do.
Either that, or they realize that I hate to say it like this. This is going to come off bad, but this team ain't worth investing in. This season, I should say. This season isn't worth investing in. Either they have a lot more faith than we do, blind faith. Well, I shouldn't say blind faith because they can point to history and say, hey, we've done this before. My question I'm starting to have is, well, why do you keep on having to do it? This team gets off to hot starts, we go to the Super Bowl. This team doesn't, we flame out in the NFC Championship game. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
That's facts. So the main question I would have is, well, why is it necessary to come back from 3-5 and 3-4 and 4-4? Like, I understand it's hard to be 8-0. I understand that it's hard to be 6-0 or 5-0, whatever we were last year. But fuck, I mean, you can't have a 5-1 record, a 6-2 record.
You can't have 3 games where you went into the fourth quarter leading by 10.
Yeah, you can't.
You know what I mean? That's the kind of you know what I mean? If we had lost some of these games, like by not blowing leads, the sting isn't nearly as bad. I guess, okay, it sucks that we lost, but it's almost like I'd rather just get blown out. I'd rather get blown out than lose a lead.
Cardinals won. Like, I'm willing to accept the Yams one, just off the fact that could have been the galvanizing moment, and we're pissed off. We're not going to let that happen again. But to blow a 23-3 lead at home and not score a single point in the second quarter, to me, that's the lowest point of the season.
Which is why, like I said, even though we had a lead going into the fourth against the Cowboys, I'm not gonna lie, there was some puckering going on with the butthole because I did not trust the lead. I just really didn't.
My butthole got puckered when Kyle came out and threw three straight times
straight?
only 17 seconds off the clock. That's when
I was
my
like,
butthole
oh fuck,
started to get
here
puckered.
we go, because we've read that book. We've got the shirt and the hat.
Yep. Y'all
Like,
joined the
oh
club. We got
shit.
t-shirts and hats already made, baby.
Yeah, it's like I was like, I saw that too. And I was thinking the same thing. Like, fuck, I know how this fucking story ends because I've seen it.
And
all right, so going on to the injuries. Oh, I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No. Go.
So obviously the guys aren't there. There hasn't been a whole lot of reporting going on. So we've got Debo. I mean, pretty much everybody is questionable for Week 10 until everybody comes back.
From the bye.
Where no one's gonna. I'm sorry.
I said until anybody comes back from the bye. Because let's be real, the team hasn't probably seen them since what? Tuesday?
Probably Tuesday. I mean, that's the last time that anything was reported. So yeah, probably Tuesday. So they'll probably see him Sunday, Monday, something along those lines. So obviously the only new one is Debo, which we kind of knew coming out of the game, considering he didn't play for a good portion of it. We got Renardo Green with the ankle, Conley with the hamstring, Moody still with his ankle, Juwan with the hip, Mason with the shoulder, and Kevin Gibbons with his groin. So it's nothing that is an immediate, like, oh shit kind of a thing.
Well, I think that's just something he's going to deal with the rest of the season.
Yeah. Well, they said he could have came back, but with how Grendo was playing, why?
Well, yeah, and it's clear that unless it gets better over the week, I believe they're coming back Wednesday. They'll start their normal Wednesday practice. To start getting ready for Tampa. Unless it's magically healed over those 2 weeks, it's not going to get better. And especially even if by a prayer you get CMC back after the bye, which I don't think he's coming back. I think he'll start to practice, but they're going to practice him at least because smartly the Niners said, we're not doing this. He's on 1 week. He's off 1 week. Like when he's back, he's back.
Yeah.
So if that takes to week 10, then so be it, which I believe is smart. They have a bonus practice. Okay, so Tuesday. They'll be back Tuesday. So what's up, Papa J? Thank you for joining us. So I think that Debo, they said ribs during the game on KMBR. So okay, fine, oblique. I'd be surprised if he doesn't play. I mean, a whole week off.
How is it so lit?
I mean,
I don't know why I said it so Asian, not Asian, Spanish. Soleil. Soleil. Brother, thank you for showing up.
John Lynch, although I didn't listen to the interview, Jake Moody's expected to be back for next week. I mean, you keep a kicker on the practice squad, and you bring him up every I mean, do we have to put like how the Niners have the emergency fourth quarterback? Basically, the fourth quarterback rule is basically the Brock Purdy rule. Do we have to put that in for kickers? Or
I mean, we did work out a punter this week.
Secretly, I think we could do better than Mitch.
Mitch is not having a good year. I mean, I'm not sure if he's got something going on.
He has a back issue.
Not having
what do we say about back issues, Jason?
They don't get better. And you're a punter.
What happens when you draft a man?
You are replaceable.
Or 26. I believe he was 26 when he was drafted.
Yeah, he was already a little bit on the elder side, but when he got drafted. But I mean, just kind of besides for your average kicker and punter, we could have a new one in every week, and I really wouldn't give a shit. Unless you have a top 2 or 3, I would not give a shit.
And I mean, my thing about it is what's supposed to make Mitch special is these things that he can do with the ball,
Yeah.
right? And how he can amazingly get the ball to do these amazing things. But literally every time he tries it in a game, he fucks up. Yeah,
I
it
think
was
we're
his
both hitting
back.
the TJ. Yeah, it was. That's the reason why we had Percy. I want to say Percy Harvin. I know that's not his name.
Yeah, that's not right.
I know it's like Percy something. That used to punt for the Steelers. Come in and pretty much.
I'm drawing a blank right now, bro.
Like I said, I remember his first name was Percy, and I remember his first name was Percy, and he stuck out because obviously he was a black punter. Because obviously there's what, 2 of them in the entire
Didn't
league.
he punt for the Raiders too?
Maybe.
I remember the Raiders used to have a black punter.
But as far as any of these injuries are concerned, I'm not worried about any of them right now. You know what I mean?
When people start missing practice, come Wednesday, Thursday, definitely Friday. That's when I start to get concerned.
Yeah.
But the team hasn't even been on the field yet to even attempt to try a practice. So until that happens.
Presley Harvin. I knew it was something. Okay, so it wasn't Percy, it's Presley Harvin.
Presley
the
Harvin.
third.
Okay, there we go.
All right. So when it comes to this offense, so overall offense, what would you give a grade for it to be? See, look at some of these are really damn good looking.
See, that's what. But that's what I'm thinking about, because I started nodding. I started saying, because the two that get me are total yards to game and time of possession.
Yep.
Right. That would generally tell you the Niners are taking the air out of the foot. Like we've seen that story, right?
Yep.
Why? No idea.
Because you only have. And here's the exact reason why. The answer for that, in baseball you have 9,000 games a year. In football you have 17 games. We don't have time for you to figure out a slump and figure out whatever the hell is going on. Either you get your shit together or we need to move out and figure out plan B, because like I said, with baseball, you can work through those kind of issues because you have enough games to. You don't have that in the NFL. You have to look, I'll give you a game or two at max, but after that we got to move on. And unfortunately, that's the reason why, like with Brock is obviously in a pretty decent slump right now for being a quarterback, which is why everybody's on his ass. But at the same time, it's like,
and literally also in football, generally in baseball, like, sure, your season can literally come down to one game, like, hey, we lose this game, it's over kind of situation. But you had like you said, Jason, you had 161 other games to fix your season and everything like that. In football, one game can literally cost you home field.
Yeah.
Not
to mention there's a minor league system in baseball to where, you know what, hey, you didn't figure it out in about 5 or 6 games. Here, go down here for a month and figure it out. Then come back. We can't, we don't have, the UFL running at the same time as the NFL.
Perfectly said, bro. Perfectly said. So honestly, I would say C-.
The one that gets me is that points per game. Like everything else looks pretty good, right? Second, fourth, second. Points per game. What would we be if even half the amount of time we took field goals, we got touchdowns? How many more points would be, how much more points would that be? We'd easily be number 1 or number 2. There's no other way.
Well, so you would ask, what essentially, I think we're both trying to get to the same point, is what you would say, okay, so you would grade this offense A+ last year, number 1 offense in the NFL, one of the best offenses in team history, right?
Yeah.
Well, you would say, what's the issue? Red zone. What you just said, how many times we settled for field goals instead of touchdowns? That's to me now. It feels weird because I was just looking at this, and I didn't bring my phone in it, so I'll read it on Tuesday. I didn't bring my phone in the office with me, but or actually, no, I didn't. George Kittle, 500 receptions. He's basically should pass. I think it's Dwight Clark and Roger Craig, or he should basically be third all time behind T.O., which is he's only 92 catches. So within the next 2 seasons, Kittle Corn should be number 2 in Niner history in receptions, only behind Jerry.
It's not bad when the number 1 and number 2 are. Well, what number 1 is the best receiver of all time. Number
Yeah.
2 is probably the second greatest. You could probably argue a few people in and out.
Yeah,
And then you. That's not a bad list to be on.
that's
For
bro,
number
that's
3.
like that's Hall of Fame. That's a Hall of Fame list right there.
Yeah,
When
for sure.
like when I read it on, I'm pretty sure everybody on that list, excluding George, besides Dwight, is or should be a Hall of Famer. I believe it's Jerry, T.O., Roger Craig, Dwight. Dwight's not a Hall of Famer. We all admit that. You know, he's a Niner Hall of Famer, but he's not an NFL Hall of Famer.
Roger
Right.
should be in the Hall of Fame.
Dwight should be in the Hall of Fame. Or
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Roger should be in the Hall of Fame. And then T.O. and Jerry are. So, you know, if George doesn't make it to the Hall of Fame, it's like, which one of these things doesn't fit? You know?
Yeah.
So with him becoming what we think is the turning to what was weakness when he was the yak monster and all that was touchdowns, he's turned that into a strength, and we're still struggling in the red zone. The concern with me is fine, CMC comes back, he plays every single game for the rest of the season, and he's healthy, Jason, then yeah, we're probably a championship caliber team. But that's a lot of ifs.
But what's that say about Kyle though on this scheme and what happens in the red zone? Like, if we never get CMC back and this trend continues, what the fuck is wrong with Kyle and his scheme inside the red zone? That just blows. You can get all these guys open. You can do this. We are great from end zone to 20. We get to that fucking 20-yard line. Dad, I'm not doing anymore. He just goes stupid.
And it's just it's starting to be the same story, and things start repeating themselves, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And you and I would say there are very few people who don't do what we do. Like we're way more invested in this team than the average person, as far as watching it and paying attention and things of that nature.
Yeah.
You know, and my thing is it's clear that I'm starting to think it's great players and not a great scheme. Because if you look
It's
at all
hard to
these
argue
Debo-
otherwise.
if you look at all these Debo screens, right? It's clear as day to anybody watching. They're literally all the fuck over it, Jason. So
They see it from a mile away.
the only thing that's causing that is Debo basically being Debo. Is the only thing that you could hope being productive on that play. And then lo and behold, he's out the rest of the game with a rib injury or oblique or whatever. Well, yeah, maybe because he got fucking cracked 15 times.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, even with it, he's still playing pretty good. I mean, obviously he's having a down year. He's not getting as many, but he's still making a lot of guys miss. He's still being able to do some stuff. So it's nothing different play calling wise.
Fair enough. I just it's to me is that shouldn't be the offense. The offense shouldn't be, give it to Debo and he breaks 15 tackles. Because that's not sustainable. Sure, it might work when we play Tampa. Debo might go psycho. When clearly Debo was right and Philly's secondary was trash. Yeah, it works then. You know what I'm saying? And he's going crazy and everything like that. But when you play, I don't know, the Chiefs in the Super Bowl,
It's more matchup based than it is. This is what we're going to do in and out every game.
and that's okay. I'm okay. Football is matchup based. The problem is that it's awesome. We beat the Cry Girls 4 times in a row. My neighbor's a Cry Girls fan. He walked up to me and goes, "Man, the Niners got lucky." I said, "It ain't luck when it's 4 times in a row, brother." You know?
Yeah,
Um,
we're not saying that about Kansas City. We're not saying
yeah,
it's
so
luck.
it's wonderful. I love that. But when it's Kansas City, when it's Baltimore, when it's Cincinnati, these things clearly don't work. And you know what the biggest problem with that is? Is yeah, cool in the regular season, that doesn't really matter. But when does it matter, Jason?
Obviously, in the playoffs.
In the ultimate playoff, I don't know. In the two times that you had 10-point leads in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl.
So, all right, let's move on to the D.
Let's do it. This is
And
me
the
sober,
D,
y'all.
even. I'm sorry.
I was like, this is me sober, y'all.
And obviously, the D is not
No.
as dominant as it has been. But we had talked about all during the offseason, we were going to switch more from a dominant defensively led team to more of an offensive team. Now, if you go back, look at these numbers, look at these offensive numbers, all right here. That's a pretty dominant offense. If you look at this and you were like, damn, these guys are going to be 6-2, 5-1 or 7-1 or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would
Especially the
think
time
that
of
this team is,
possession.
time of possession, 32 points, that's second in the league. You would think this offense is just putting up
That
points
means, in
left and
theory,
right.
the Niners offense has the ball more than you every game. In
Yeah.
theory. I'm sorry. Like, if you told me last year's offense, do we lose a ball game? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, number one
Yeah.
offense in the league has the ball more than you in the game. But yeah. Anyway, the defense, yeah.
So, like I said, we thought the offense was going to take another
Mhm.
step forward, or at least stay there, and then the defense might take a step behind. Which, when you look at some of these numbers, they obviously have. They've gone from being number one in a lot of these categories, or at least top 5, to being middle of the pack. I don't know. Steve Wilkes had these guys as a pretty damn good defense. Just saying. We talk
Yeah.
about it might not be it's player base. It might not be the coach. Well, on the opposite end, I think Steve Wilkes, a lot of people owe that man an apology. I think a lot of people need to say sorry, Steve Wilkes. I forget what college he's at, an HBCU right now. I don't remember which one, but can you please leave there and come back? Because
I mean,
yeah.
but when I step back and I look at this, okay, 22.8 points a game, right? So let's just call that 23 points. I point to the offense and I say, okay, from an offense that was consistently, right? We have the saying, Purdy for 30, consistently putting up 30 points. You can't put up 3 touchdowns and a field goal, right? So you can individually look at the defense and say, that's not acceptable. I'm saying, well, you have to look at the bigger scheme of the message they were clearly sending this offseason that they were sending last year. The defense is going to take a step back. What do we say, Jason? I would like to add to the list now, but if you're not 97, you're not 54, and now I'm going to say you're not number 2, right? I added that. Yeah. Not number 2. You're not safe on this defense.
Yeah.
Unless you have one of those 3 numbers. You're not safe on this defense. So I point to the offense. Would you say, okay, you're 4-4? Yeah, well, you know what? Score 24 points a game. Do it. And what have we seen all last year? What was it like? I believe almost every one of our losses, we only scored, except the Yams game, I believe we only scored 17 points.
It was under 20. I remember that.
Which 22.8 and you're scoring 20 or less, what does that tell you? You're going to lose those games more than likely.
Yeah, we are scoring 26.3, so barely a 4-point difference.
Total yards per game, I'm fine with that. Because if anything, the Niners have proved it's not about yards, it's about points.
Yeah, it's definitely a bend but don't break kind of a situation.
I'll accept if you would have told me after what we saw in the Whackers game and especially in the NFC Championship game, the Niners would be 6th in the league in rushing yards. I'd take that.
That's a. It just look at that. Look at what's gone through, or I don't know.
I mean, 105.7 yards is a lot of yards,
But
but still,
doesn't it feel like it's worse?
it does.
You know what I mean? When you look
But
at,
you know what
and I
that
think
is?
it's because they come in chunks.
You know what it is? You're scarred by the fourth quarter of James Conner and of Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
That's where you're getting scarred, bro. Is just that the fourth quarter when they started running the ball down our throat at will. And we just and even our should have been stopped for 1 yard was 3-4 yards. You know?
And they shouldn't be tired with the time of possession the offense still has.
That's kind of the thing that's crazy though. Is that I look back and I'm like, okay, like maybe the Kansas City game, scars me from what this offense has really looked like in general. But I just don't feel like we've had a dominant offense that should be number 2 in the NFL in time of it. Like we're just constantly on the field.
Again, it goes back to the point to where what were we number 8th in? What was the worst stat on there? Points per game.
Yeah.
Because we can't score touchdowns. We're not scoring touchdowns, and we're going for field goals. Field goals are cute. They're nice. Yeah, I like that when we're up by 2 or 3 scores already. We need touchdowns. And this shit where we're just relying on kickers to kick 40 to 50-yard field goals constantly isn't going to, it's not going to bring home 6. That's for damn sure.
You know what? I'm going to say this. Okay, true. Okay, Papa J comes up with a fair point. To be fair, Wilkes didn't have as many starting rookies
Fair
as
point.
he had. Not taking away from our rookies are doing fine because they're doing awesome. But yeah, touche.
Fair point.
Especially when the issue was the secondary and he was supposed to be the secondary group.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we are second in picks.
Coming in pretending he's some type of guru.
We're still second in picks. And, we had a ton of picks last year as well. I don't remember exactly what we were, but we were picking people left and right last season.
I think second in picks. I feel about what we're right. You want to know something I'm going to say this. Fred almost cost us that game because if he did not jump and tip that ball.
Oh, yeah, he was wide open.
Demo was going to pick that off.
Yeah.
Demo might take that to the house.
There was nobody on that side. There was like 3 other. It was Demo, and I think Malik was back there too. They both had open shots at it.
Yeah, and I was like, that might go to that, or at least very, very league. That's ball game.
It's the one time we're like, Fred, please don't have hops, Fred. It's like the one time he does it. He shouldn't have reached up there as high as he can go to try and get that one.
And I felt like he held up.
Maybe.
I didn't feel like because he didn't fully put his arm out there. Anyway, so getting back to your point where you says touchdowns, not field goals. Before we got CMC, what was this team's issue? The red zone.
Same thing.
So what is that? So really, honestly, that people would say, okay, you take away the number 1 offensive weapon in the NFL last year, right? That's going to take a damage to any offense. But my thing about that is what Kyle's toted to be. Like if we were talking about some rookie head coach that hadn't really proven anything and just got the job because nobody else wanted it, I feel like we'd be a little less harsh. But when you're called one of the best minds in the NFL,
Yeah.
and I mean, and it's not like fucking Jordan JP Mason is some fucking scrub.
No, he's still like, I think he's still third in the NFL in rushing yards right now. Pull it up.
So what's making
he's still number 3. He is still third after not playing last week, basically.
That's telling you something. So optimistically, I do want to, be positive about the season because it could be a lot worse. Is I believe we both were very much like, hey, second half of the year, look for these rookies to start making some impacts. Assuming that they weren't going to get the playing time that they did.
Yeah.
Assuming that, Huff was going to be ready and wouldn't be on IR for the second time, and, Mustafa would have been essentially starting since what? First Yams game? Or second Yams game? Or not second Yams game. The week after? I believe it was the Cardinals, wasn't it? His first start?
I don't remember exactly if that was his first start or not.
But anyway, I mean, he's clearly started before you and I, who are Mustafa fans, you and I even anticipated he would. So these things are going to, with this especially defense, because let's be real, it's mostly, the defense of the rookies or, Jair only in his second year, first full year starting, is out there. The benefit is that playing time that we got early in the year. Like you said on Tuesday, Jason, you actually kind of calmed me down a little bit when you said the kids are going to be all right.
The kid's all right.
Yeah, the kids are all right. We're going to be okay.
Talk to me this time next season, and we'll see what these guys getting so much playing time this season is. Talk to me on the bye next week, and we'll see how much they've improved. You know what I mean? That's when we'll see like that huge jump.
And what's making me happy about it is, although, if we had better safeties, would Jair be starting? No. But he's shown enough flashes that I believe with experience and talent and being out there more, he'll develop more. Mustafa is, I haven't felt a liability at any point out there.
He's kind of iffy in coverage still. He still isn't reading coverages great. But there's also times where he reads it really damn good. And like Papa's bringing up right here, the kid throws hits, man. He just lays people out. He doesn't do that shoulder. Like, how many times have you heard me people about shoulder blocking bullshit or overrunning shit? No, he just hits people. He wraps up and he runs through.
He can definitely tackle, which is, if you tell me the number one trait I want from my free safety is tackling ability.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing I'm going to tell you, because if anything that I have to bitch about the defense that I've accepted that we're not a top tier fucking defense anymore. There's a lot of things I'm willing to accept, and I'm still pointing on the finger at the offense and saying, okay, like, well, you got to figure it out,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But one thing I will not accept is the missed tackling.
It's piss poor tackling. That'll piss me off. Like you said,
yeah,
that'll piss me off more than that. You can do a million things right. What am I going to remember? That missed tackle.
And so that's something that I feel positive about as well. At least our free safety can wrap up.
Because you're kind of the last line of defense to an extent. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that if it comes down to you and someone else, at the very least, you're stopping them.
Yeah. And don't turn a 30-yard play into a 70-yard touchdown. That's your job as a free safety. Yep. Don't let a play that's already 40 yards, don't let it go 70.
All All right, we got a couple more panels.
Yeah,
We're going to go ahead and play another ad real quick, and then we'll get going. Be right back.
To you by shop49ers.com, the official online store of the 49ers. Use our affiliate link in the description to get the latest official Niner gear, save 10%, as well as help out the show.
Look, people, you're going to buy shit anyways, because that's what we are. We're faithful. We're going to keep buying stuff every year, no matter how bad this team gets or whatever. Please use our affiliate link. Save yourself a few bucks. Give us a few bucks. Everybody's happy. You win, we win, everybody wins.
Definitely
and
does.
TJ, you were talking about how, some of the young kids.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at some of these freshmen. Obviously, I think it's beyond Dominic Pooney is the best offensive rookie lineman, if possibly ever. I'm not just like I'd have to go back and look through some of these other guys who started their careers on the line as rookies, but he's got to be up there with being one of the best rookie offensive linemen of all time in this franchise's history.
Yeah. What did I tell you? And this is the thing that's actually a little bit disappointing, because what did I tell you, Jason? I said if Dominic Pooney can come in and turn what was clearly the biggest weakness on offense last year into a strength, I believe the Niners get it done.
Yeah.
And that's what's a little disappointing, because I believe that he's done so.
Arguably, best lineman that we have, and that's including Trent Williams. I realize that's saying that might be heresy. But this kid is playing good right now.
What you're talking about is everybody's a free agent. You take Dominic Pooney before you take Trent Williams, is what you're saying.
Yes, I would.
Yeah, like you're going to take, if you gotta choose between the two, you're gonna take Dominic Pooney.
Yeah, if we're starting a dynasty football league or whatever, Pooney's getting taken off the board before Trent.
Yeah. I agree with that, bro. I feel that's not hyperbole.
So right now he is 11 out of 77 eligible tackles in the NFL. That's not. I mean, would I like him to be a top 10, top 5? Obviously, but he's a rookie coming in playing a position he'd never played before in college, kind of thing. Obviously, we have Malik, who is 40 out of 55. He's still a good grade. Again, he's kind of hit or miss with a lot of his stuff, but again, he gets better every week. Then we obviously have Renardo Green with a 79.6. Obviously, that is a damn good rating. Doesn't have quite the snap counts, and that's part of the reason why it's so high. We've got the Jacob Cowling, who, maybe not the greatest punt return, but look at the 74.4 as a wide receiver. Again, why is Ronnie Bell playing more than this man? Why?
Don't know, Jason. Don't know.
I think every content creator, hell, every just random NFL analyst I've seen and I've watched want to know why. The same thing we've been asking for months, or I guess months now at this point. Why is Jacob Cowling not playing more? It makes absolutely no sense. Obviously, Ricky's only got a couple games, barely has played, but he's got decent grade to start off with. And then the same thing with Garendo, especially because Garendo started off pretty damn slow.
Yeah,
he's starting to pick up steam right now. So that 49.32, if he was just decent those first couple games, where he didn't do a whole lot of nothing, because honestly, he kind of sucked the first 3 or 4 weeks. He does halfway decent, and that grade's probably pushing 55 or so. Let's see, what do you got Papa saying? Pooney is something special. The way he can read the defensive movements and adjust to it, make great blocks, and at the same time be aware of his team. Yeah, the way he has made Colton McKivitz, right? Colton McKivitz right now is the number 7th ranked right tackle in the NFL. Say what you want and all the issues we've had with Colton McKivitz over the years.
What was the ranking?
Number 7. He is the number 7th ranked right tackle in the NFL right now, according to PFF.
The 17th?
7th.
7th. Holy shit.
He's like 19th in tackles in general, which, okay, that's about where you would think he is, 19 to 22, 23-ish. But as far as just straight right tackles, he's number 7. And you know what? That's because of how damn good Pooney is. Pooney has
Which is
made
what I
him jump.
said. This is best case scenario, brother. Because I
Yeah.
said if he could do that, so I guess if you tell me, because offensively, I think we'll be fine. I mean, in theory, you would like another receiver, you know, just because asking 2 rookies to step up is a lot, you know.
Yeah.
I need a Devontae Adams. I would love an Emmanuel Sanders type for this team right
Well, yeah. I mean,
now. I would not even necessarily starting, but just that, third, fourth receiver. Now you would say you got Juwan, so you say Debo, Juwan, sprinkle in a little Ricky Pearsall and Jacob Cowling. Might be able to get back, but if you get I think a healthy CMC. If you get a healthy CMC and the right guard / right tackle situation can continue, if not improve a little bit, I think we might be cooking with gas.
yeah.
That's a lot to
I
add.
mean,
I'm not saying it's not, but I think if we can get that done, then I think we might be cooking with gas.
yeah, then this is exactly what we're saying, Papa, is that the fact that Pony's that good is that he has improved,
Yeah.
you know, McKivitt's play. I mean, he's playing better. I don't see he's only given up 1 sack this year, 2 sacks. Let me see season
Which
stats.
honestly, if
He's given up 1 sack.
Gundier had the opposite, position, but same effect playing next to Trent. Do you believe that they do that to justify not paying Aaron Banks?
Yeah, yeah.
I do too.
So he's 536 snaps. He's only had 4 penalties, and he's only allowed 1 sack.
I would take that because if you have that, Jason, like you're more level headed than I am, so I'm gonna
All
ask
good, brother. No worries.
I'm gonna ask you this and see, calm me down if you think I'm crazy. But if the Niners could have got 2/3, if not half of the same production from Dominic Pooney last year, we're Super Bowl champs, right?
Oh yeah, because what's the name isn't in at the end of
Like
the
if we
game
could have plug Dominic Pooney into
for
last year's
Burford.
team. Or fine, you even say he takes Burford's spot and he's a backup.
Yeah,
We're Super Bowl champs, right?
yeah. Because looking at how good he is right now, he doesn't make that mental mistake that Burford made at the end of that game.
I don't think so.
You know what I mean? And maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But right now, you're asking me put money on it. I'm saying he doesn't make that mistake.
I agree with you, bro. Or at least he has a better season and is more talented, so you're willing to forgive it, I guess.
Yeah, maybe I can see that.
I forgive it's the wrong word, but it's kind of like um kind of like Tom Brady when he lost the Super Bowl. Like he throws that, he throws a pick, cost him a playoff game or a Super Bowl. You're willing to accept that he had a bad game or whatever like that, just because you know that,
He's still top tier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think can we put it to bed the fact that this is the best rookie class in the Shanahan Lynch era without a shadow of a doubt. This is the best rookie class halfway through the season.
I'll say class. I won't say I'm not willing to say that any of these picks are the best individual pick.
No, but class.
But basically, if you're talking about production on today's roster, right?
Mm-hmm.
2017, you got George Kittle, which, yeah, you could argue Trent Taylor. You got some production from some players from there, but not making an impact in 2024. So it doesn't matter how good DJ Jones turned out to be, really.
Yeah.
2018, you got Nick Bosa, or you've got Fred Warner. 19, you got Nick Bosa and Debo.
Which that might be the only one that competes because you
Dre
got two
Greenlaw.
absolutely studs. Okay, three. So you got three.
I would have to go, look through there. I'm sure there's some we forgot and everything like that, but we'll analyze that at the end of the season. But I will say this has been the most production.
Especially halfway through a season.
I mean, I don't know because you got Nick Bosa in 2019, Debo in 2019, Dre Greenlaw in 2019.
But did they have the impact all these guys are having so far in that season?
Nick Bosa did.
Well, Nick Bosa did.
Dre did. I mean, player of the season.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it is. Look, this is a solid class. I'm very optimistic. I'm the most optimistic about this class that I've been of any class.
Yeah, I absolutely love this draft class, and obviously there's some guys on here that we aren't even talking about.
And so,
Bethune,
if they
Kingston,
Kingston, there'll be some people who make some impact, future down the year. There'll be some that fall off,
Yeah.
Like honestly, because I see Isaac Garando sticking around. Honestly,
maybe
no.
Well, if Jacob Cowan, is he going to be strictly just a punt return specialist, or will he leave the Shanahan doghouse and actually be able to allowed to play wide receiver? So
it's clear if you say that if you gun to your head and you had to make a bet, Pooney's going to be the best player from this draft class.
Yeah.
And you're probably talking maybe Brock Purdy and Nick Bosa. Brock Purdy, Nick Bosa, and Fred Warner is probably the only picks in the Lynch Shanahan era better than him. When you got
that we know of right now.
You got your quarterback, you got Nick Bosa, which I mean, it's hard for a guard to make as much impact as a DN.
An offensive lineman, that's someone that is not going to get the recognition until years down the road.
Yeah,
like he's getting a lot of props now,
but you know what?
"Quote unquote" average fan won't see that until 2 or 3 more years, kind of a thing.
You know when they'll start to see it when he gets Pro Bowls and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when they'll start to see it.
Yeah.
All right. They'll start to highlight it. They'll start to look at like they do with Trent, and
Yeah. All right, but so we've talked about the rookies, but we've all seen this scene, right? We all know this scene. On your left, Cap. Yeah. Cap on your left. You know this. You know the scene, right, TJ?
Isn't this from Avengers Endgame or whatever?
Yes, this is from Endgame.
Yeah.
Right now, we're about as low as we can get as a franchise, right? With how bad some of us are feeling.
Yeah.
We're kind of beaten down. Half the team is missing. We don't know what the hell is going on. But if you remember in this movie, it was just Cap. Cap was going against the entire Thanos and his entire army. And that little circle started in the background. Who flies out? It was Falcon. Cap on your left. And then who shows up? The rest of the Avengers fucking show up. So look at all these guys who are going to be coming back, either relatively soon or by the end of the year. We've got John Feliciano, who, everybody's talking about putting him at center. He's going to upgrade over Brendo. Whether or not Talanoa Hufanga is going to come back, I don't understand. It's a wrist. Tape that bitch up. I mean, unless your wrist is pointing in a direction that it's not supposed to, again, I don't understand it. Tape that bitch up. Obviously, Moody's going to be coming back. Obviously, one of the big guns, Christian McCaffrey, coming back. Juwan Jennings, he's been out for a few weeks with his hip. He could be coming back. Rumors are Javon Hargrave could be coming back come playoffs. Yatir Matos Gross Matos, I forget which way it goes. Gross Matos, coming back soon. And then obviously the one that we are probably waiting for, at least to me, more than anybody else, Dre Greenlaw. You know,
Yeah.
so as bad as things look right now, we're still not playing with our entire deck of cards.
I mean,
So
think about that, Jason. You're starting to like just seeing all that right there is, right there with Mr. Dre Greenlaw. You got the man who the Super Bowl completely changed.
100% completely changed the
It,
entire.
it was 1,000% different when that man stepped off the field. I
Locked
think that we
down that
forget
offense.
a lot of our defense is based off of physicality, and you don't want smoke and everything like that. And I think since we haven't seen it since the first half of the Super Bowl, we forget that what Dre Greenlaw and his "I flirt with a 15-yard penalty every single snap," mentality.
He was scaring people.
Like
Like
he
they were
literally like
scared of him.
yeah, like bro, like it's different. Your toast, Gross Matos, yeah, not a superstar or anything like that, but you're talking about somebody who the Niners plan to play a significant role in run defense.
Yep.
This year and everything like that, and getting some just snaps to rest the starters.
Rotation.
Hargrave,
I want a rotation of those guys. I want a freshman in every 2 plays.
yeah. Hargrave, there's a wish and a prayer. Jake Moody. Look, I don't feel. Would I feel more comfortable if we had our kicker in? Of course. You want your first stringer there and everything like that. But I don't feel that any of these games, the field goal kicker has been an issue.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Anders has kicked pretty damn good, to be honest with you.
So, fine. Jawan, I think that's, if you're going to be out without BA and without Jawan, that's a big ask.
He's proven he could probably go to another team and easily be a number 2. And on a lot of teams, he could probably be the number 1, and that he could be productive as the number 1 receiver on a lot of other teams. He's proven his worth more. It's like of anybody that's on this list,
look,
I think he's the one where it's like, look, this guy is legit.
Maybe not the high level of the Yang game week in and week after.
Yeah.
But not too far off. And then you're talking about the second low key, nobody really talks about an injury that changed the Super Bowl even more, and when John Feliciano gets hurt.
Yep.
So
what we talked about a couple 5 minutes ago? Who made a mental mistake? That's Burford. Why?
Yep.
Who wasn't there? There you go.
Yep. And so, and secretly probably blames himself and says, if I don't get hurt, we're Super Bowl champs. I bet you.
Might be, yeah. Could be. I could see him doing that. Yeah, I could see him beating himself up on that, something like that.
So, I mean, when you look at that and you say, hey, you tell me you get all these back, and everything like that. Look, some things got to break the right way. Mainly probably not playing Kansas. Although, I want to play
Dre's
Kansas.
ankle?
Dre's back.
I mean, things don't break the right way, like Dre's ankle.
Yeah, right. Fucking A. Some things break the right way or whatever like that. There's an upset and we end up hosting the NFC Championship game somehow. Don't have to go into Minnesota or Detroit.
And not to worry about Detroit as much, or Minnesota, I don't know, because I don't trust the water up there, but they're both dome teams, so it's not like they have.
I think we could get it done in Minnesota. Or I think we could get it done in Detroit. Because
Minnesota scares me just because it seems that we just can't do it.
Yeah, that's something that look, I mean, yeah, you could break it down and say it's, I mean, still, what was it, 8-9 games? I mean, it's not like we're talking about like people are, we haven't won in Miami since 19, and it's like, bro, that's like 3 games. Calm down.
Yeah. So we don't play them every fucking year.
Yeah. So like how many different regimes is that? Like, what, you only have one shot to beat the Dolphins? Like, I mean, fuck, Kyle might play the Dolphins more than any other coach in Niner history. Shit. This being his third game against them. Like,
Yeah.
that might be more times than not, double the times the Niners have played him in fucking history, including the Super Bowl. Like, fucking A. But yeah, Jason, actually, I said I wanted to end on a positive note and everything like that. Looking at that picture that you have right there. Yeah. I mean, a lot of hope, a lot of everybody coming back, Dre being not, there's a lot of hope in this picture and a lot of things need to break right. But
So you were just talking about the all-time, right?
yeah.
The all-time record between the Dolphins and the Niners, Miami leads the series 8-7. That's all it is right there.
So 15 in what?
15 games in like 40 some odd years.
50 something. Yeah. I mean,
Again, like you said,
is that including the Super Bowl?
It doesn't say. Just let's see. Yeah, that's including the Super Bowl.
Okay, including the Super Bowl. So I mean,
that's pretty damn funny.
Like, so that's literally a third of the time. Like, so anyway, yeah, I think that getting these players back, especially number 23, we'll talk about the future and why Kyle needs CMC and is it healthy to need one player, that much and everything like that.
Yeah.
But for the 2024 season, and I fucking gotta have it, yeah, I like that. And that's my thing about it is the thing that will always scar me from the 22 NFC Championship game is not even having a chance.
Yeah.
Like, and ultimately we don't win the quest. We don't end the quest for 6. What'll hurt is say I never got to see that team that was a 4th and 1 away from being Super Bowl champions on the field in 24. That's like the whole team. That's kind of the thing that's kind of hanging over this team. You win it, nobody fucking cares. But you lose it, it's kind of like I never got to see my team on the field. It pretty much ended in, So that's what's exciting me most is that by this point, it's starting to look like, if not this week, then a couple weeks from now, as the season progresses, that we might be we're getting close to seeing as much of our team on the field as possible, Jason. So things are definitely riding up, and we could talk about why is this necessary every year except for 2019 and 23, and why it's necessary to come back from slow starts. But things are lining up for this team to do it.
All right, so I'm looking up Papa's question for which team we've played the least. Okay, so we've got the Houston Texans, who are 4-1.
Yeah, I was about to say the Texans, probably the Jags.
Okay, the Jags are 5-2, so we got 7-5. Well, you got the Las Vegas Raiders, we're 8-7. Let's see, teams that have been around for a while. We've only played the Chargers and the Broncos 16 times.
That's not that much, and
actually,
including both teams in the Super Bowl.
So the team that we have seen the least is the Buffalo Bills. We are 6-7 against the Buffalo Bills all time. So we've only played them 13 times. So there's your answer, Papa. It's the Buffalo Bills, and we're 6-7 against them.
Interesting.
We've only played the Chiefs 17 times.
What happened?
We've only played the Chiefs 17 times.
Yeah, and considering, a lot of that's like what we've played them 4 times in the last, or 5 times.
Titans are 10-6. Everybody else is
most is going to be the Yams. I know that off the top of my head. It's the Yams.
Let's see. Let me find them. I just saw them. Where did they go?
It's gonna be
78, 70, and 3. Yeah, there's no one even close to that.
yeah. We've been playing them at least twice a year since 1950. Like so, it's gonna be
One
that.
team that the Saints were 50, 27, and 2.
Yeah, them in the NFC West since the 70s.
Yep.
Do you actually secretly want to know the team we've actually been playing have had probably one of the least amount of games, but have played the most, like earliest we played them? The Browns.
Let's see.
They're in the the AFC or whatever it is, the All American Football Conference, where the Niners were before the NFL. They were one of the only them and us, I believe, were the only two teams to leave that conference and join the NFL.
We're 8 and 13 against the Browns.
Yeah. So now, new Cleveland Browns, old Cleveland Browns, but that's
it doesn't differentiate. It just says Cleveland Browns. So
I want to say
that's probably the new ones. I bet I'm willing to put money on that.
Maybe not 46. Don't quote me on that. But we've probably, I guarantee you, it was at least sometime in the 1940s we played our first game against the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
It wasn't until we got in the NFL. I believe we played them in a championship game too. In the AF or whatever. It's an All American Football Conference. But anyway, little Niners trivia for you and everything like that. So
good question there, Papa. Thank you for bringing that one up. Because now we know.
At some point, maybe this offseason we'll add a little stats or trivia or did you know type of segment. Yeah. To the show this offseason.
But speaking of the show, that's it, man.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a wrap, brother. So yeah, maybe taking a week away, getting a win, taking some time away, clearing my head, being a little less emotional off of the Kansas City game and stuff like that, having some time, and a win against our arch rivals. Will clear my mind a little bit. But when you showed me that, this team has flaws. And so we have to play better. We could not be the same team that we were these first 8 games.
Nope.
And expect to win a championship.
But we also won't be with the guys that we're getting back. You know what I mean?
You would hope.
So
you would think.
You would hope.
You would think. And so that's the positive outlook going into the second half of the season is, maybe Kyle gets his head out of his ass. Or, you get good enough players that it doesn't fucking matter how much he fucks up,
CMC comes back and all of a sudden all of our red zone issues just magically go, or not magically, because we'll know what the issue is.
Insert the offensive player of the year.
Put in cheat code CFC.
Would you got the offensive MVP of the league in your backfield, your offense mysteriously gets better.
CMC is the contra code up down, left right, A, B, B, A, select start. That is what he is to this offense.
Yeah, or I always go to the Sonic up down, left right, hold A, start.
Yeah, whatever cheat code you've used over the years in video games, that's obviously what he is in the red zone for this offense.
Yes. All right, brother. Appreciate it. So
Tuesday.
Yeah.
But no shows this weekend, obviously, because we're not playing this weekend.
Yeah, so we're gonna take a much needed.
If any big trades come through
tomorrow, because except the Monday presser,
nothing's coming out.
Nothing
unless something. I was gonna say unless a big trade comes through.
Yeah.
Like if we trade for Joe Blow on,
we'll holler at y'all Tuesday. But if Defoe, DJ Jones,
if one of the big guys come, all of a sudden, the big names come up, we'll jump on. Somebody will jump on.
Yeah.
Between me and TJ, Jamie, somebody will be here. We get a big trade between now and then. What are you hoping for a trade? Real quick, what position group?
Honestly, I want a D lineman.
Tackle or end?
I'm gonna say end because secretly, Leonard Floyd hasn't impressed me.
No, but you know who has impressed me out there? It should be starting at this point. Sam O.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
if we got the same production that we're getting from them right now, and we got a serious run stopper in the middle, which again, a run stopping one didn't look too bad according to those charts. But we got somebody that's just can just plug up the middle. I'd be stoked.
Well, you know who I'm surprised you didn't put on, Jason, or didn't talk about. We didn't really talk about that much Tuesday. Evan Anderson.
I'm trying to hold it back.
You know,
My joy for Evan Anderson getting on, the main roster is just wow. So happy.
So yeah, if you tell me a DN, a pass rusher specifically, because what was it, 10th or 11th in sacks?
Mm-hmm.
That number needs to go up.
My
thing is, what did I tell you, Jason? I need game-changing plays. Exactly. For as much as we're paying our D line, I don't need to lead the league in interceptions because quarterbacks aren't even getting the ball off. They're just simply not either throwing it away or they're just getting sacked, so the ball's not getting thrown to get picked off. For as much as we're
we're on two quests right now. We're on the quest for 6th and the quest for somebody opposite Nick Bosa still.
Fucking A. Both of them going on 30 years. Fucking A. All right, brother.
All right, man. Talk to you on Tuesday.
Yep. Yee.
Later. All right, everybody. Again, thank you for joining us here at NinerFaithful Radio for our weekend review show. Cheers. We'll finish off our last beer here. And apparently I'm not working tomorrow, so I get to keep drinking. So, okay. But again, like I said, we will talk to everybody on Tuesday because obviously nothing's going on this weekend. So until then, everybody, fa fatai te lava, one love. Doses.